Oh, we are on.
Bro, we're
We are
posting
on.
cringe.
Everyone stage face. All right.
Ma.
All right.
Oh god, I just got sued by the mouse.
Yeah, right.
Well, shit. Now that I know that more people are watching this, hello YouTube.
Hello,
Since
fans.
the last time we met, I got stuff put on my arm. Ain't that nifty? All right, show's over.
All right. So bye, everybody.
See you later.
Same bat channel.
Since the
that I
last
know
time
we're
we
on
met,
YouTube,
I
I'll
completely
take less time.
quit working for a multinational corporation. So
That ain't special.
You're right.
Hey.
Warren Buffett decided I wasn't good enough to be his bitch anymore, and his boys laid me off.
My dad and I went door dashing for 3 hours in the middle of the night, and I got to deliver a $14 pint of ice cream.
holy shit, where was it from?
From this place called the Convenience Store in Columbus, which is a DoorDash only store. And I delivered all the way to Pickerington, and they paid like $5 for the thing, and then I got paid $14.
Bro, I'm gonna DoorDash in Columbus so hard if that's what's gonna happen.
I was door dashing.
Dude, I keep being asked to work for DoorDash like through Handshake, and I'm like, I already have 3 jobs and I have an internship. I can't, but I would.
It's cash.
It's more or less just designed to be on whenever you can.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, but the problem is I really don't.
It's the way being an Uber driver was supposed to be, and then it was not that way.
All right, so recap right quick. I didn't watch the video.
Bad shit happened.
Remember what?
A lot of bad shit went down.
Hey, Bryony and Traven, how'd your dream sequences go?
Okay, I need to preface mine with I flipped shit with Eric.
Whoa, hold on.
All right, so
in character.
Last we left off, you had just been confronted by the previous chairman of the conclave, this sort of UN, if the UN actually did what they're supposed to do, non-political statement.
Okay. Sure.
Basically, this militarized UN known as the conclave, their job is to keep the peace. The last chairman hasn't been seen in 25, 30 years. You met him, and he's now a little bit mad with power. You don't know if that's of his own volition or if he's in cahoots with something else. The Lattice Empire, the capital of Bahamut, the Platinum City, was attacked by a small incursion of dretches, which you quickly dispatched after Kareth taunted you about your pasts and what he was going to do with your families and all that. Traven shot him. He got boofed to Pandemonium and just recently boofed back into existence. And then
Still can't speak though.
Still can't speak because things.
What is it, 2 hours?
Yeah.
I thought it was 2 minutes.
It's 2 minutes.
Yeah, fuck it.
And beyond that, you have been tasked by the current chairman of the conclave, Alamar, and General Edric from the Imperial Army to go up to the city of Adisal and contact the Arcane Law and Arcane Histories professor and find out more about your cube. So, since I'm just going to call you Dredger and the Knackles for right now, what are you doing? You're currently standing in the on-fire street in front of the Platinum Cup, surrounded by ash that was once demon corpses.
Is Kira still there?
No, he boofed.
He boofed? Alright, so he's boofing. I seem to remember being in a bit of a trance, so I'm just kind of standing there.
Oh, right. I forgot that Traven could speak. And we just said it.
friend?
Traven reaches his arm out, grabs both of Dredger's shoulders.
I punched Traven. Not right now, friend.
As you're doing this, you see Alamar and General Edric, who the latter of which you've noticed hadn't been carrying a weapon when you last saw him, comes around the corner without a weapon, then reaches his hand out, and a huge greatsword appears in his one hand with this flash of red and black and gold energy. And they run up and they say, "Are you okay? Is the box still here?"
Bridie, you still have the box.
Yes.
Gave the
It's in my book bag. I thought we gave the box back to somebody.
Gave the box to Alamar. So this bitch done lost the
Uh-oh.
No, I gave it back to
I
you.
thought we gave the box back, but I was gonna play with it. I was like, oh,
He said, you have to make the trip to Assault to the Zeus Mice Academy. You guys have it. It's in your bag, unless you took it while you were chilling.
I don't
then
have
it's
it.
in my bag.
box being going back.
All right, so I'm gonna ask again. Bridie, you still got the bag, the box? Fuck.
Still got it.
Bridie, like the thing that's like, phone wallet, like the whole pat down before you leave the house, but it's like her bag, and she, like, yeah, and then she like is kind of all freaked out, but like looks at Dredger and like nods.
Well, we seem to have the box, but I point to Traven. Our friend seems to not be able to communicate right now.
Alamar says, what happened?
I don't know. It might be
I put my mouth over Traven. I'm just like,
ooh, mouth?
Hand over Traven's mouth?
what?
God damn it!
I kiss him sensually. Here's your fanfics that you've all 40 of you been waiting for.
Oh, for can I
put my
roll
hand
for
over
something?
Traven's
I don't
mouth.
know what, but anything.
While we were dealing with our adversary, he seemed to have magicked him away. And when he came back, that's all that's coming out of his mouth.
He
We aren't sure that it's a problem yet.
Alamar comes close to you, Traven, and he says, what did you see while you were gone? That makes perfect. And about this time, you start to regain your faculties, and
Oh, hey, I don't know, man. It was really freaking weird, bro. Ugh.
he says, was
Hey,
it
bud. Ooh.
was it hot? Was it dry? Was it windy? Describe the climate.
-3.
Is scary a word that can describe climate there, bud? And windy?
Windy.
Yeah. It was just kind of rough there, bud. I don't really.
Interesting. Okay. So, well, we need to get you set
Hey.
off before he comes back. If he comes back. We need to get you set off to Adisol, like, now.
I agree. And I turn to the party and I say, and we could find out about our friend that we met at the cup. You know, the one who vomited on us.
Oh, man. That was so long ago. I forgot that freaking happened almost, man.
That's the first thing I wrote down in my quest log.
But maybe Barfy Boy had something to do with Big Scary Guy. I kind of hope
Maybe
so.
he seems to know about poofing out of existence like you did.
That's true, though. He did do that.
They say, Alamar looks at you and says, well, no matter what the case, we need to get you on a cart. We don't have time for you to wait. We have a cart ready for you. You just need to leave. And then
Onward to adventure! I don't say that.
General
I don't
Edric
think that's
says,
very out of character, Nick.
Huh?
I thought that was a little bit out of character.
It really is.
General Edric says, "Well, whatever you're doing, I need to get my troops together. I need to recall everybody. We need to do something."
Well, figured out.
Hey, bud, speaking of your troops, where were they when all these things were attacking everything?
We only have a small garrison here. I'm assuming most of them were in other parts of the city. It's a large city, after all.
Okay there, bud.
The capital city of the Lattice Empire, and you had a small garrison.
Yeah, most of our garrison is most of our people here that are able to fight are town's guard or the emperor's personal guard. We don't keep troops here. We keep them in other spots so that we can converge anywhere we need to be.
Well, I wouldn't be the first person to discuss military tactics with, so maybe the cart is a better option.
Are we talking about military tactics? Spending time in military? Ooh, I got defensive homeland stuff right here. I'm gonna get in the cart though.
He says, the cart should be out the south gate. No, actually, wait a minute. And he looks around and he says, it'll be out the north gate on the other side of the city. You know, Adisol being to the north. And he calls someone's name, and around the corner comes this smaller, less beefy looking human. You'd pen him at about 16, 17 years old.
Baby.
And he looks at him and he says, you need to go to the north gate, tell them to ready a cart for 4 people. Can you do that? You gonna get lost this time? And he says, no. And he says, take these orders with you. And he runs off.
No.
And they say, all right, well, gather your things, take whatever time you need to do whatever, and get to the north gate and get going. We need to hurry this up.
Well, I have all my things. How about the rest of you?
I also have all my things.
Sword. That's all I need. Okay. Ready to go.
Let's go.
Onward to adventure!
You're having
I'm
a
still
weird
stuck
time over there, bud.
happening.
I really need to stop with that in that.
So as you go, you walk through the various streets of this city that was once very lively, very put together, and it all is still shimmering, but in a different way. Where it shimmered with a metallic glint, now it shimmers as if it's reflecting fire from the buildings around it. You see bodies that are torn asunder in the streets as you walk. You see people who are searching through various bits of, weirdly enough, wreckage from buildings that have fallen over from some form or another. You get the feeling that where you were wasn't the main attacking force, but rather was you just happened to be in a place at a time that a group of younger demons and weaker demons tended to be. But it's all very quiet now except for the crackling of some building fires.
I would like to find a body, and I would like to put 2 gold coins over the eyes. 1 gold each.
All right, roll me perception to see if you can find one that still has their head attached.
Oh, Lord. There we go. Oh, I got some proficiency in that. 10, baby.
You don't find a body with its head attached, but you find a body. you find a body and then a head that's close by, and you do your thing.
I look at it, I kind of squint, I grab the head and I kind of put it like where the stump is, and then I pull 2 coins out of my purse and I put them over each of the eyes, and I mutter something to myself. I stand up and let's shove off then. I'll pay my respects.
And as you arrive at the north gate, you see that this is probably where the most of everything took place. You know that it would be weird for them to attack the north gate. The north gate there's nothing of interest there. There's a temple there, you know, the like big archives, but not much else politically. Like the emperor's palace is back in the upper district to the east side, and anything else that would be of help politically is by the Platinum Cup where you were staying. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to you why they would attack this gate, but this thing is fucked. Like, we're talking these big stone walls are cut in as if someone took a you ever seen those sand cutting videos? They did that across either side, on either side of the gate, and it just crumbled in on itself.
Those videos are
They have the people who survived, the guards that survived on the wall, have cleared enough of a path that you can get through to the outside.
Is there anything out there?
It's tough to see. There's smoke, but you can see that there's arrows in the ground. There's piles of ash. There's everything from that to burned bits of earth to these big footprints that are about 2 feet across that look, is anyone here trained in like nature specifically?
Oh, for sure.
Like survival and track identification?
Wow,
Thanks,
way to just
Draven.
fucking throw that out there.
How specific can you be?
Yeah, roll that.
You want nature or do you want
Survival,
survival? Okay.
because you're checking to see what this track is.
24.
Well, you recognize this from various things you've seen in the forest and various pictures you've seen and stories you've heard. This looks like a big old monkey, but like a lot heavier.
It's Arabe. He's back.
He's got to fix the wrong.
Bud's,
Arabe's revenge.
I ain't sure what's going on with that, but we have an old folk story about a great hero named Harambe. He came to the wood's aid at a time of need, and this looks a lot like the drawings we used to use for him.
Oh, really?
I hate you guys.
The
Anyway,
perk of having the ability to create.
Harambe seems like an adequate man and a noble warrior. I best respect him when I encounter him if he is in this form.
Jesus. You see a little bit past that at what you assume used to be a stable, but is now a collection of wood. You see your cart and 2 scrawny horses that don't look like, they look either very young or like they're not native to the Lattice Empire.
Do the horses still look strong enough to carry this cart if they're young
They do.
and small?
They do.
With 2 7-foot-tall giants on it?
They're scrawny, but they're not like malnourished.
Okay.
They're just younger or just not built super. They're definitely not farm horses.
Are they more like built for speed versus like pulling?
You
Is that
can't
what you're
really
getting at?
tell. You can't really tell from this because you had no interaction with these horses yet. Your best reckoning is that they're probably just young.
Okay.
But they look sturdy enough to hold and carry the cart for the like 7 journey that you have.
This is all the same day as the attack still, right?
Yes.
So I haven't gotten anything back, so I can't do anything cool.
Had you just long rested?
Did we?
Yeah, you had just
No, we
woken up
thought
from
after we long rested.
We had long rested right before everything happened, but then
Yeah,
I
right
used a
before
lot of
the-
spell slots in fights.
We long rested before Traven yeeted himself out the window.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure that everyone marked that.
Yeah, I took a lot of damage. It's fine.
I didn't take that much. I'm feeling pretty good.
But so I'm gonna go up to the cart and pet the horses a little bit because I'm sure they're a little skittish after everything going down.
Yeah.
And I just say, whisper in their ear, I'm just like, it's gonna be all right, buds.
They look a little bit more at ease, but they did just see essentially hellfire and brimstone come to Earth, so
I hold both of their heads really close and I go, it's okay. We're gonna keep you safe.
all right. And then as you I'm assuming you're just loading up onto the cart. You're not is there anything else you guys want to do?
I'll walk.
I'm ready to ship out.
You'll walk? Okay.
I mean, I'll walk alongside the cart. I need to clear my head, you know,
Okay.
or at least my guy does. My homie does.
So can I get an idea of who is driving and if anyone is who is co-piloting? It's not the word for what riding shotgun is on a horse, but you know.
I can drive, I guess.
I
Okay.
guess I'm kind of like sitting with my bow out in case something happens, but I'm kind of like I'm like scanning, but I'm not like being aggressive about it. Like I'm tired and I don't want to like get enough. I don't want to get in a fight if I don't have to.
Yeah. So it's about noon o'clock at about this time. And you set off and you know that you should probably only travel about 8 hours a day, which that's gonna get you not super far. So with 8 hours a day, you reckon you'll get there in about 7 days. 7-8 days, assuming no setbacks.
Okay.
So Aragorn, can you roll me a d20, please? So this is your first day of travel. You're passing a very familiar climate. Once you get outside of the city, there's not really any damage. Seemed to be a very localized attack.
Are you ready for that number now? Or are you gonna keep talking?
That's ready for the number.
It's a 16.
It's 16. All right. So you get into about your 6th, 7th hour of travel, and I need you. You and Traven, are you still on the lookout at this point?
Yeah.
All right. I need you both to roll perception checks, or one can assist the other and take advantage.
Do you want to do both or you want to just
I do not care either way.
let's just both. It makes sense anyway.
2.
Okay. So I'll have advantage.
If you're both rolling, then you don't have advantage. You both roll separately.
Aragorn just said me.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you have advantage.
Good, because that was a nat 1. 16.
All right. So you see off in the middle of this field, you see these rocks. You see these stacks of rocks there. That is straight up. They're leaning and they're just like resting on each other. It's kind of like a Stonehenge deal, but less cool and far fewer rocks. But with you know this climate. This is an indigenous climate. It's very similar to your forest back home. You know that rocks that big don't belong in this forest.
I
We investigate the rocks.
hop off the cart, obviously, and head over towards it. Can I stealth?
Sure. Roll a stealth check.
And just okay. Shoot, I forgot what I rolled. Sorry, I went to read something and I forgot what I rolled.
No, you're fine.
Oh.
Just roll it again.
It's a 10, so that's not great.
Okay, so you get the feeling that if there's anything around you, you're hiding to the best of your ability. Like, you're in a grassland, there's not that much you can do. But anyway, you get up to these rocks. Are all of you going, or just some of you?
If someone can convince me.
Bryony is watching him do this, but is not going with him yet.
I'll go with him in case something bad happens.
Okay. So you get up to these rocks.
Well, Timber is with me too, so don't forget that.
Yeah. So they look normal. They look like rocks. They look a little smooth, like almost like they've been river washed, but they look like rocks, just out of place a little bit.
Do I get the sense that this is like a religious thing or a nature thing or a...
You can't get any read off of it. Just that there's these rocks, and you're like, these don't belong here, but I don't know why.
Got it.
Like, you get the feeling that they weren't naturally placed here.
I'm gonna head back towards everybody. And I go, I don't know if here's a good place to stop, guys. Seems like other people are around.
Did you follow with him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Traven comes back and relays that to y'all. Do what you will. Oh my god.
Well, you are the hunter of this group. I trust your judgment.
So we're gonna...
I'd say we still got another 2 hours of travel left.
Yeah,
that we
let's
can
head on
make.
a couple more miles.
Okay. So you travel on and you look around, find a suitable place that you think is well guarded enough to set up for the night. You start to do your things.
Okay.
Are you guys putting up? Are you doing staggered watches with multiple people? How are you doing it?
I need a full rest. I need to just sleep, dudes.
I'd be cool.
I'm
First
faring
watch.
pretty well. Okay.
What'd you say?
Joder said he would do first watch, and I was about to say that I'm faring pretty well if somebody else needs a rest. You can do first, I can do second.
Dredger is taking first watch. Is anyone joining him on the first watch, or is it just going to be him?
If you all would like to sleep, I would recommend it. I really have no desire right now.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Dredger, you stay up for your watch. If you're staying up the whole night, you will not get a long rest. Just so you
I'm
know.
only staying up 4 hours.
Okay, only 4 hours. All right. So, about the time you finish your watch, you head back to sleep, and Aragorn comes out of her trance that elves do and resumes your watch. And,
Can we...
Yes.
Just a mechanics question. On long rests, aren't Are watches factored into that, or do you have to choose to take a short rest versus a long rest with somebody taking a
You
watch?
take a long rest.
We all take a long rest, even
Yes.
if people are
Essentially,
watching?
just not doing anything for 8 hours, I think, is what a long rest should be. It
A
doesn't-
long rest is light activity to nothing.
Okay,
And watching
so
light activity.
then I'll take then we all can like take shifts.
Okay.
Right? I just wasn't sure about that. Sorry.
Either way, nothing irregular happens, and you wake up in the morning feeling rested but weighed down by the recent events of the day. And do you pack up immediately? Do you hang around? Do you start moving out?
Traven kind of gets ready for the morning, but is sitting kind of staring into the fire, just kind of pensively, like sitting with his legs pulled up and his arms kind of just.
Bryony got some food out of her pack and is like kind of half-heartedly munching on it because she knows she should eat while she like plays with the lock of hair around her neck like absent-mindedly while she like kind of babies this food.
All right.
And
So
then I'm just gonna stand up, take my tent down, sit down on the cart, pull my short sword out, and start sharpening it. And that's all I'm doing. Like no talking, just work.
all right. So after all this is done, you pack up and start to move out. And I'm gonna need another roll from driver and whoever else wants.
I'm still walking.
Okay.
Perception, right?
Yep.
19.
19. Okay. And the driver was it Aragorn again?
Yes.
I thought it was
Okay.
Bryony. I don't know.
I don't know who's driving today. But...
Oh, driving again.
Who's driving?
Who wants to drive?
I don't care.
I'm sitting with my bow, so to deal with anything that pops up.
13.
All right. So anyway, Traven, you're 19.
Yeah.
Again, nothing happens during the travel day, but coming to the end of the day, you pass this patch of forest area, and you hear the sound of rushing water, and you you're pulled. You feel like you're pulled towards the inside of this forest. So much so that it
Does
feels
Bryony
like it's calling to you.
It's just me.
Just you right now.
Hey, I'll be back, guys.
Where are you going?
I feel like this is where I gotta go, eh? Over here.
Well, I'm gonna go with you. No sense being
You want
alone
to
now
go
that
with
the
you?
Antichrist is going.
Well, I don't know, bud. How quiet can you be going through the woods?
I'm just here for your safety.
Okay, I guess. Don't make too much noise.
I'll do my best.
All right. So I'm obviously gonna try to like sneak up towards this sound, this feel.
Stealth check.
17.
Yeah. You feel like you're sufficiently hidden, Traven Dredger. You're a pretty big guy. There's not a whole lot for you to hide behind.
And I move at normal speed while stealthing in the woods, and so does Timber. So I'll be ahead of Dredger anyway.
So Traven, you actually come to a clearing where you see a waterfall. This beautiful waterfall surrounded by rocks. The water glistens as it flows into a river that goes off in somewhere that you can't see the end of. And you feel really good. Something feels very tranquil here in the middle of this forest where generally, there would be a lot of activity. This is a very quiet area.
Do I get that same feeling too?
You get the feeling that it's super quiet. It's oddly quiet, and it doesn't really click. But you hear the waterfall, but that's almost all you hear. It's not loud. It's a very comfortable level. It's like those recordings of rain sounds that people sleep to. It's like about that level.
I think Traven is gonna basically sit down and just kind of crisscross applesauce, close his eyes, and just kind of breathe in.
Okay.
Bless you to someone.
And just feel kind of the calm, and just kind of let it basically meditate for a second into that feeling.
You start to notice that as you're sitting there, you get extremely thirsty. Like aggressively thirsty. Both of you do.
I would like to roll an Arcana check.
Yeah, sure.
It's 10.
And all right, you don't, with your limited knowledge of the arcane, you don't know of any spell or anything that would cause this. And it doesn't feel like magic. It doesn't feel the same as when you've been affected by magic.
Can I roll maybe a nature check or something? I'm trying to think of how Traven would approach this feeling.
Sure.
Okay. That's a 4.
It's a 4.
Waterfall.
Real bad.
You're really entranced in this meditation where you're trying to feel the calm and get back in the right headspace from all the shit that you guys have gone through the past couple days. And you're sitting there and you're like, why am I so thirsty? This is a little
like crystal blue, clear, just river.
Yeah, it's beautifully clear.
I go up and I dip my hand in it and I take a drink.
You take a drink? All right. You feel this is very refreshing water. It feels really good. Dredger, I need you to add 10 temporary hit points.
I dunk my fucking head in. I'm like,
Traven, this water is wonderful. You must try it.
Okay, bud. And I'm gonna head on over because Traven's a trusting little fella, not little, and start slurping her up.
All right, 10 additional HP, 10 temporary HP. So you keep whatever your thing is, but the next 10 damage you take doesn't draw from your main pool.
Yeah, sweet.
And I pull my head out of the river. I'm like,
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yeah, this might be the best water I have ever tasted, bud.
You know who would really like this water?
Ooh, little cousin would love this water.
Bryony would love this water. Because she's made of water.
Wait, is it insensitive of us to think that the water genasi would like water? Nah.
I concur.
And I'm walking over. I'm gonna fill up my water skin with this
do
water.
it too.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Fill up your water skin.
And I want to point out right now, this is not metagaming. This is exactly how this would go.
We're like, oh, this is so good. We need to bring it with us.
This is exactly what I planned to happen. All right, so you see these two hysterically happy, very tall men come out.
I've been looking fucking grim for these last couple days. I've been hurting people I don't want to. I've been succumbing to my own rage, and I'm just as happy as a little clam.
Oh, how did Timber react to drinking the water? Because if I'm drinking, Timber's drinking, baby.
Timber, basically, bears don't have this ability to share excitement, But having the special bond, you get the sense that he's like very depressed when you leave because he wants to look for fish. Because if the water tastes that good, how good do the fish taste?
Hey, bud, if you want to go fishing, go for it.
And he fucking takes off, double speed, back towards the river and the waterfall.
Buddy, 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 buddy.
You gotta get over here,
Briny
cousin.
very
Got it.
alarmed.
Right
I,
over
like,
there.
Pull my water skin from my belt.
This is something else.
Aragorn, you gotta get over there. Like, this is something real cool. You gotta see this.
I have never been more refreshed in my entire life.
I am the happiest I have ever been, bud.
Since I'm pretty proficient in water, can I do an insight check on this water?
I am proficient in water.
I have water proficiency.
Are you tasting it, or do you mean when you get to the source?
No, I want to check out his canteen first because he handed it to me, or like he like held it up.
Okay, so are you going to taste the water? My question still stands.
You must truly.
No,
Be great, bud.
I want to swirl it and look at it first.
All right.
So water skins are typically brown and not see-through.
I was gonna pour some out
Okay.
into the old hand.
Tip over
Or no,
the-
you know what? No, fuck that. I'm gonna draw it out because I can shape water, and I'm gonna hold it up to the sun. I'm gonna look at it.
All right, and you see it, and it looks like water.
Wow.
Fuck me.
I'm telling you.
I don't want to taste it.
Taste it, you must.
Aragorn, you gotta go for this. It's great.
I'm okay.
Where did you get this water?
Over here, follow me.
There was a spring in the
Timbers
clearing.
fishing. It's the cutest thing.
Okay.
I'm heading back to that water right now. It doesn't even matter.
I am content.
Briny
with my
is going
current-
to hesitantly follow them because she is skeptical of the water.
I'm with
Aragorn, you coming
Aragorn
with?
at the cart.
Yeah, I'll follow.
No, I am at the cart by myself.
No, I mean you
Hey,
can
Dredger, bud, you gotta come back, right? Like, it's great.
probably bring the cart to the waterfall. You
I
feel
didn't know if we could do that.
you feel like you could probably do it. It might be slow going, but there's enough of a path.
I pet the horses' heads and I go, Buds, you gotta get over here and try this, okay?
Briny like kind of shakes her head and was like, I think maybe we should leave the cart here. Dredger was staying anyway. He can watch
Well,
us.
yes, but you know the saying. You lead a horse to water.
Otherwise, we gotta bring water back for the boys anyway. We might as well just take them.
I can control water, and I don't think that would be that big of a problem.
I'll stay with the cart.
All right, so Briny, you and Traven, Dredger, are you saying with Aragorn, who's
Still
staying?
staying at the cart. I am
Okay.
content with my current state of being.
All right, so you get to this beautiful waterfall, crystal clear water, and you feel connected to something. Aragorn
is in the
you're
corner
also
killing
getting this
fish.
sense. You're also getting this sense while you're standing there that it feels like something about it's either this forest or this general like square area feels like you're connected to something.
Can
Is Timber eating
I
fish, or are there not fish in this water?
There's not fish in this water, but he's sure trying.
Hey, but I'm not sure there's
Can I
anything in here.
Can I get interrupted for a third time?
Sorry, I can't really hear you.
Can I, since it's water, can I roll an insight check to see if like the source gives me any more information about this funky ass water?
Sure. Okay, take it at advantage since you're water.
I don't know how.
Roll it twice.
Okay.
Take the higher one.
18.
18. You look at this water and it is, boy, it's some pretty water.
Fuck no, it's not. There's something with it.
I mean, it's some nice looking water. It's super clear. Aragorn just sent me a message. Yeah. Go ahead and roll the check. Aragorn, are you there?
The nat 20.
Oh my god. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So you know of a few things that can cause like improvements to places like enchantments and such. But this is definitely more than that. It's definitely it feels almost like consecrated or holy, like it's been blessed by something or someone. And you get the sense that it's pretty basically a good force.
Oh, I have no
Can I roll a religion check?
Can you roll a religion check? I mean,
Oh no.
actually, you know what? Both clerics, can you roll me a religion check?
It's God time.
God's God time.
Nat 20.
Oh god.
Hell yeah.
Tell us
In a
everything.
row. Okay. While you can't pinpoint the exact god it is, it feels like this place it's the wall. Oh, 6. The walls that generally keep the gods who have been expelled out of the world generally are very thin here. So something is leaking through.
I big don't like that. Bryony is going to try and usher Traven back to the car.
It is coming to almost 9-10 o'clock now. It feels like time almost moves way faster here.
Traven
We gotta go.
Traven is like playing with Timber in the water, just like splashing around together. He goes, but we're having such a good time right now.
So like I can shape water. Can I like make essentially a bubble around them? So like Percy Jackson style, like so they can still move, but like it's not touching them anymore.
Read me the rules of shape water. what does it say it can do? Because if it does what
Okay,
I
hold on.
can, yeah.
I don't know. Hold on, let me find it. Shape water. All the way. That's really long. Oh, it's only a 5-foot cube.
I mean,
Well, how deep is the water?
Traven would know that it is about to his waist.
I think that I can make that cube go away from him because his waist is not 5 feet tall. Pretty close.
So you concentrate on the water and start to make the motion that you know control the water. And Raven, you see as the water pulls away from you, and now there's a square of dry land, and the sediment at the bottom, which, as you know, in most rivers is pretty disgusting. This like glimmers and shimmers.
Can I do an investigation, or am I too concentrating? I'm sorry, what?
You can't see this.
So
Raven,
I can see it. Can I do a nature? Can I do a nature check
Yeah, sure. Oh,
13.
13. So you look at this water and it's like you see some amazing colors in these sparkles. It's just you see purples and whites and blues, and it's like there's gems in the water, but there's gems in the sand, but you don't see gems anywhere.
I'm sorry.
This is just a beautiful place. Oh.
I think we should go back to the cart, though. It's very pretty.
We should camp
Let's
here.
go.
We should camp
We're
here.
burning daylight, Traven.
Hey, you guys done in there yet? We've got foot to
Yes!
cover.
All right, Timber, let's go. Playtime's over, I guess.
And we go back to the cart.
All right, so you make it back to the cart pretty easily. 1 second. I'm trying to think of how I want to describe this, because it's not a long journey, but you feel it's, you know that feeling when you were a kid, you'd go into the toy store, right? And then you'd leave without getting a toy. It's kind of like that. As you exit this area.
I had 5 brothers. I'm used to disappointment. Let's go.
All right.
What
Sorry,
god would have been in this place?
I'm sending things to y'all.
I go, Traven goes, who could have made such a place? Such a good place. A fundamentally good place.
Oh shit, I forgot you. Anyway, so you get back on the cart and start moving? Or are you gonna camp down nearby?
We're getting the hell
Traven
out of
wants
here.
to
We're
camp
going.
nearby.
No, get on the cart.
Go.
I get in the cart.
All right. So you start moving along, and it comes to about 2 hours later. It's pushing midnight about now, and you realize that you're tired, almost completely exhausted, and you start to find your camp for the night, and you bed down to sleep. As you are sitting there, you recall that place that you just were. It's on most of your minds for a good bit of the day following, a good bit of the travel following it, but it fades away much like most thoughts do. And
do the temporary hit points go away?
Nope.
Cool.
They don't go away until you take damage. So you continue your sleep, you do your watch, and you wake up the next morning, start all over again. And this happens a couple more times, this traveling and then sleeping. And then you're now on your 6th day of consecutive travel. And I need one last perception check from whoever's driving and anyone else who is actively looking out for threats.
I am driving.
I'm looking out for threats.
That's 11.
That's 9.
Okay. All right. So
Traven is just whistling and singing.
you notice a handful of things. First of all, you see
A sneezing man. Bless you, sir.
you notice a there's a light snow that started to fall. It's common for this area. It's pretty far north, but in a light snow, which is a pleasant surprise. And then you see off to the right, there's a forest, a sizable forest, and you hear, and you see a bunch of birds fly out of the canopy of this forest, and then 6 of them fall down to the road in front of you.
Were they shot or did they just die?
You can't really tell. You're not quite close enough.
What did you just say?
I said
Briny. I didn't hear what Briny
Me?
said. It cut out, yeah.
I said, can we investigate these birds?
yes, you may. So you see that 6 of these birds have been pierced with feathers that are fletched with bright blue.
So these are arrows that have bright blue
Yes.
fletching.
Yes. I realize I called them feathers. They're definitely arrows, though.
Okay, I was like, that's very different.
How big are the birds?
The birds they're like, like the size of like a small turkey.
They're big birds.
So like a
They're
game.
flying birds.
Yeah, like a game bird.
How big
How
are
long
the
have we
arrows?
Say?
The arrows are about 12 inches long.
That's very short.
Are you gonna pull one out of a bird?
I was
Traven
going
is.
to, yeah.
Okay.
Traven's definitely
You
going
see
to.
that these are very, very finely made metal tips that are actually serrated. These don't
I
look
was
like
definitely
arrows.
taking all the arrows.
They're definitely combat arrows,
Are
not
these
hunting.
arrows or crossbow bolts?
They're arrows.
Dibs.
We should get the fuck out of here.
Why is that? Traven says, grabbing one of them and stringing it up. He goes, anything that we can deal with these can take them back.
What is there anything like else discerning on the arrows? They're just a nice little shaft with blue feathers.
They look really nice. Like
Nice.
this is masterfully done fletching.
Nice.
Really well done broadheads as well.
I kind of want to see whose these are. Do I recognize them though?
No,
Okay.
your village absolutely would not have used these bright blue feathers for fletching. They give away your position from forever away while they're still in your quiver.
These are made for people who like to fight.
This looks like hunting for sport.
Well, it doesn't have to be, Traven says, and I want to scoop the game hens up by their feet and kind of string them together like a brace
Okay.
of animals and kind of tie them to my belt. And I go, I got dinner for tonight already, guys.
Belt of
We
birds.
are on the same wavelength, Traven, and you get to talk first.
All right then. If no one else has any objections, you load back up onto the cart and you continue. And
Is anyone coming for the birds?
you don't notice anyone. I mean, you can roll perception if you want, if you don't believe me.
Of course I don't believe you. That's a 22.
Yeah, you don't notice anybody.
I still don't trust that.
Well, my 8 definitely didn't notice anybody.
All right.
Rather press on. These are made for killing. I don't know about sport.
Anybody who wants to do some killing is going to have to deal with some killing coming back.
How about we just keep moving forward?
Agreeable idea.
All right, I guess I'm going to leave the arrows with the blue fletching that I have on the cart because I don't want to give myself away with them.
Okay.
I'm bright blue.
So am
I'm taking mine.
So you bed down for the night a couple miles later, and you haven't gotten the chance to lay down or like set out your sleeping arrangements, but you have a fire roaring. You're doing your various, talking about the day.
Tents are made. I can set up tents with a snap,
Yeah,
buddy. That's not.
But like none of you are actively trying to sleep yet. You're doing your light activities, your midnight, your nightly rituals. If for those of you that have them, some of you are, just vibing for a bit, and you hear from in the shadows, off back the way you came from. You mind if I sit with you?
I turn around and look at this voice.
And
I also turn around, but I have a bow and arrow in my hands.
a man who's
Seconded.
resting his hands like this on a sheath short sword. Jeez. And he says, I was, I'm a little tired. I just wanted to see if I could sit with you before I continued on my way.
Does he have a bow?
Describe the man.
He is, well, you can't really see a whole lot. He's still in the shadow, he's just close enough that he's within talking distance, but not close enough that he's fully illuminated. You see a hooded man, about 5'8", 5'9", and he's sitting there, just standing, hands just resting on a short sword, not super aggressively. He does have a bow strung across his back and a quiver. You can't quite see.
What's in the quiver, Eric? DM, what's in the quiver?
You can't quite see what his quiver is full of.
Boo.
He says, I don't mean to impose or anything.
Step out into the light there, bud. I say, knocking an arrow, but like politely and not aggressively. I like to non-aggressively make a threat. I like to make a threat in a way that's not obvious. I'll roll a sleight of hand check to knock the arrow without him noticing if you want.
No. You don't need to. He shifts his one hand from resting on it. He shifts what appears to be his non-dominant hand, or his dominant hand. The sword would be on his non-dominant hand. He drops it to his side, holding the sword in an underhand grip, still in the scabbard. He says, I don't mean to impose, but if you insist. And he steps up, and you see he's wearing green hood, and his quiver is full of these arrows knocked with bright blue fletching, half with bright blue and half with bright orange.
What's your name there, stranger?
Oh, is that like half of the arrows are blue and half are orange, or like two of the fletchings are blue and one is orange? Like
No.
on the arrow.
Half of the arrows are blue, half the arrows are
Okay.
orange. Yeah. And he says, well, I guess that depends on if you're going to let me stay. I'm not going to introduce myself to you if you're just going to sit there and threaten me.
What kind of person doesn't introduce themselves when trying to see if they can sit with somebody?
I just wanted to see if you'd let me.
I stand up and I look at him.
He meets your gaze and he says, aye.
My most sincere apologies, sir. We just don't take too kindly to strangers now after the events of the last week.
Oh, I understand that. I've been in a fair bit of scraps in places, but I'm just looking for somewhere to sit.
Well, you did provide dinner for tonight. I believe it's only fair.
Is this true?
And he pulls out the short sword, spins it around, and sticks it in the ground and sits next to it. You now see it's a curved sword. It's like a scimitar almost.
Love that
Looks
shit.
like it's
Love that shit.
custom built. very, very ornately made weapon. This is probably somebody of power.
Money,
Of
obviously.
money, yeah. And he says, now to the idea of me telling you my name. I'm Ragnar.
Radnor.
Radnor.
It's fucking rad, dude.
Rag with a G.
Boo! Hate it.
Ragnar. And he says, I walk this street every now and again, searching for some food to take back. The only reason I carry the sword is mostly for skinning, but occasionally some ne'er-do-wells need skinned as well.
I got something for you there, bud. And I say, and I am gonna head over to the cart and grab his arrows that I picked up.
He says, "Oh no, you can keep them. They're a dime a dozen, as they say in certain places."
Bryony eyes her arrows that are kind of shoddy next to his that he just called a dime a dozen and feels a little sad
He
and
he
a little
looks,
offended.
he says, "So, where are you off to?"
We're off to the college.
He says, that old magic college up in Adisol. I owned a home up there for a little bit. Go to a couple of the inns there probably still have a tab that you can drink off of in my name. Let's see, which one would that be? The Copper Flagon. That's a good one. Should check them out. Mention my name. They might give you a discount or even free drinks.
Just wrote that shit down, baby.
3 drinks are worth writing down, baby.
Free drinks? Hell yeah.
He looks at you all and he says, this is, like I said, this is kind of my natural area of exploration. So if you have any questions, I can help you out, probably.
Up here in this cold little area.
Yeah, it's cold. I don't get cold much anymore, though.
Not anywhere further south.
What was that?
Not anywhere further south.
No. There's,
Alright.
he says, I do have some advice for you. Maybe next time you take someone's kill, you should probably check the woods before you set off and steal their kill.
We do. Sorry.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did, for sure.
Says,
Craven took all of them.
he says, but, no matter.
I also checked if he was around.
Yeah.
If anyone was coming for it. So,
did.
hey, bud, maybe next time don't leave your kill sitting around. Go get it. I waited for a while there. I checked on you.
He says, oh, well, I guess that means I'm a little too good at my job. Well,
Kind of a little too good at your job, what, leaving it around?
my job being, hiding from animals. Hiding. That's what I do. I'm a hunter.
To be fair, he did see 4 strangers approach the 6 birds he killed at the same time.
He says, well, it's been long enough. I need to start on my way. And he looks over at you, Aragorn, and he says, Are you okay? You haven't said anything.
I'm fine.
Says, okay, well, keep the arrows, keep the kills. I don't much care for them. I'm going to shove off then. And he starts walking away.
Did you want any dinner first?
Says, like I said, I don't get hungry much. And he just walks away.
That's so.
He starts walking away eventually.
Yeah, I just kind of mumbled that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
What did you say, Dredger? Did you say that you try to catch up to him?
No. I mumbled what I just said. Like it wasn't within his earshot.
All right. Well, you continue on, and you sleep for the night. You know, whatever. X, Y, and Z. Jesus. And sorry, I just got twisted up all over my words. Yeah, so you sleep, you get up, and the next morning, after not too long, you arrive in the city of Adasol. You see on the horizon, this isn't a walled city, it's just buildings. And it's cold, it's snowing, but, you know, you've been in colder... Most of you have been places where it's snowing, you're fine. You see a few residential buildings around the area, and eventually you come down the main road and you see off in the distance a big towering building that is built in stone. It's very high-end quality materials. It looks like a place of learning. One second.
Excuse me. Oh,
You okay?
Goodbye.
Oh, bye. You okay over there?
Sorry,
It's just timber.
I had to deal with something.
You finally find your brother?
Yeah, and he won't come down, but whatever. Anyway, yeah. So that's what you see. You see a lot of buildings that are unmarked. You assume they're probably houses. And you see one that looks like it might be a tavern or a general store or something. You can't really tell until you get up on it.
What is the name of that tavern? You just said we couldn't really tell, but like,
Correct.
can we?
Copper flagon.
Upon
Copper
closer
flagon.
inspection,
Copper flagon.
upon closer inspection, it is the Copper Flagon.
Hell yeah. Woo! Time to go get drunk with college students.
It is only about 11 in the morning.
That is fine.
Okay.
What?
Goose crawl.
Brunch. Perfect brunch drunk time.
All right.
Mimosa.
So you walk in and it is it's pretty packed. It's pretty busy. Most of these people are wearing robes of some kind. Some are in the booth areas and they're, you know, they have these big tomes about that tall open and they're reading and they're looking at each other and, you know, pointing at places in the books, and they look like they're arguing about something. One guy is holding up this diagram that you see to the people at his table, ranting furiously about something or another. And the guy that's zipping around to all these tables, he's a small guy, probably only about 3-4 feet tall. Dredger, you recognize him to be a gnome. And he zips around and he says, "Oh, I'll be right with you." And he said, "Just grab a seat anywhere."
Are there seats big enough to accommodate us?
I am stunned.
Yeah, there are seats, you know.
only ever seen 2 gnomes, and they are my parents. I'm freaking out.
You find a booth with much difficulty. It's in the back. It actually is a booth that a group of people wearing robes just perked their heads up and then went shit and then like burst out the door.
Is there something wrong with this booth, you think, Dredger?
Sounds like someone forgot.
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna sit down.
Okay. And eventually this gnomish man comes over and he says, what can I get to all of you? I make it quick.
Can you make a donut?
He says, we're not doing custom orders right now. If you haven't noticed, we're a bit slammed with the college lunch crowd. He looks at Dredger and he goes, you good, buddy?
I
got all day.
Something warm and frothy, first of all. Second of all, I do not think this will mean anything to you, young man. But I am of your kind.
He says,
And I just have the biggest shit-eating grin on my face. I'm just like...
He looks you up and down and says, aye. And then he looks over at Briny and says, can I get you anything? And the other one, too. Anything for anyone else.
Briny would like water, please.
A rasher of bacon there, bud.
What was that? Say it again.
Rasher of bacon there, bud.
Cool. All right, we can do that. And the elven one, do you want anything?
Water.
Okay. He comes back and delivers your orders with ridiculous quickness. Like, this man has been in the business for a while. And he says, all right, well, I got to get back, but if you have any questions or need anything else, come talk to me.
We do have a question. I do, at least.
He says, what do you want?
Do you know anything about the college?
He says, other than my year-round income, no.
So you probably wouldn't know where to find the arcane history professor?
Arcane history. That's that Jadvinar, right? That fucking Webman, whatever his name is. Yeah, he comes in here a time or two, but not so much anymore. Why are you asking?
We just need to have a discussion with him, is all.
Okay, he's not on the admissions board. He can't get you in, but I would recommend asking at the front office. Big, tall building in the center of the courtyard.
Good lad.
If that is all, I'm gonna go help these numbskulls over here try to balance their equations for their general education.
Excellent.
And he skitters off to another table and he yells over, he says, no, I told you need to carry the one from the right to the left. How many times do I have to tell you this? This is simple equations.
These lads are wizards.
I'm like whispering to everybody.
Whatever they are, they're a bunch of nerds.
I had a feeling this is what a nerd party would look like.
Yeah, kind of. I think so, too. This is kind of how Raylon gets, but not quite as much.
My parents threw some bangers back in the day.
What did your parents do, bud?
I don't even know what to say.
They were adventurers. They picked me up while I was out on my own.
Sounds good. So, Aragorn, you're the one who like does all the school stuff.
And definitely worked here.
Yeah. Where do we go?
I didn't work here.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, well, you still do all the school stuff. So, like,
I mean, we should probably go to the dean
okay.
or find a campus map.
Hey, you over there! I yell at some random table.
And one of them goes, "No, you don't understand. This spell completely consumes it. What do you want?"
Hey, where do I go to talk to the dean or the arcane history professor?
He says, "Well, you can find the dean in the administrative building, which is in the back near the science lab, or the arcane histories professor is probably going to be in the basement archives like he always is, but he's got a lecture all the way until 5 p.m. Trust me, he's my advisor and I can't get a meeting with him at all."
Felt that.
Ooh, feel that deeply.
Felt that.
So, administration building, anybody?
Sounds good.
Let's go.
I
Airport, do you know the way?
I've never been on this campus. He said to head toward.
Okay, I didn't have the backstory here. Apologies.
It's okay. He said to head towards the back. So
Oh.
I can find
You-
the main road and go back.
I feel like I might have some idea where it is. I don't know why, but I feel like I do. And I just book it, leading the group towards the back.
You finish up your various things and follow Traven.
Brimey leaves some money on the table because we bought stuff.
Traven, you're just going, right? You're not stopping to ask for which building it might be.
No, I'm trusting in my innate abilities
Okay.
that I was gifted.
Well, you see 4 buildings. You get to the campus pretty easily. It's literally on the main road. And you see 4 buildings and then one in the center.
That one.
The one in the center?
Yep.
Okay. You walk in and you see a bunch of people waiting around, and you see 2 offices, one that reads admissions and the other that reads aid.
Admissions.
And you walk up and they say, "Oh, another newcomer, a little late to the semester, but we can probably find an opening for you. What major did you sign up for?"
Meeting with the dean.
101.
And they say, "Oh, the dean. Well, I mean, generally you have to put in a request for office hour visits, and
Is
then
there a list of like the requests on the table? Can I like Ferris Bueller this shit and be like Abe Froman?
you don't see a list, but you see like a directory of like room numbers and like buildings.
Do I see which one is the dean's office?
Yeah, you see it just says dean, and it says room 375C.
I go, yeah. I received a letter that said I had to be in 375C today.
Oh, can you roll me a deception check?
She just says that. It's like, oh, deception check?
That is a healthy 9, baby.
I don't fucking think so.
He goes, "Well, I've never seen you before, but also I'm pretty busy all the time with everybody."
Oh,
And
Checks out.
she says, "Well, then you would obviously know the way. I mean, you know what room he's in, so you can just. He should be open if he said you need to meet him."
all right. I will head right there, I say, and I start walking to the right.
She says, "It's out the door to the left."
I know. I was gonna go to the bathroom. I say,
That
and then
was
I start
next.
going the other way.
She says, Okay, the bathroom's to the left too, but okay.
I was taking
I'll
the
tell
long way.
Dean you said hi.
Please do.
Out we go. Out the door to the left.
Yeah, you're walking along, and it's a bustling campus. There's people just chilling, in the various areas. Funny enough, it is not snowing, and it is a very comfortable temperature on the campus proper. You look around and you see one of these buildings is marked with this weird rune thing that looks, kind of like the front of a D20. Not that any of your characters would know what that is. You see another one that looks a lot like it's some random square that you don't recognize, and you see one marked with a big C.
A big C?
Yes.
I'm heading right in there, trying to find room 375.
You know, I knew a man named Dean once. He was a very fun man. He drove race buggies, and he was a star in many a theater.
I knew a guy named Dean. He killed a bunch of monsters. That's all he did. What a guy.
Think mine is cooler.
Probably a little bit.
You walk up and you try the doors and they're locked.
Damn.
How locked?
So locked. And someone walks up from behind you and goes, "Oh, excuse you, my room is in here." And he walks up and he said, "Did you forget your key? Here, I'll let you in." And he unlocks the door and he holds the door for you.
Hell yeah. Show me how unsafe this campus is against attack. Let's go.
And you're in there and it's just an empty room with some random decorations on these wooden boards that are nailed in. And one of them says, "Public concert tomorrow, 7 a.m. You see one that says, resident life seminar, Wednesday, 5 in the morning.
Is time not real to these guys?
You see another one that says, "Open house with the administration. Ha, never."
And apparently a cynical bunch, too.
And someone says, "Oh, hey, what room are you in?"
375 there, bud.
So 370, there's no 375 in here. This is a dorm building. What floor do you live on?
2.
2. What? Let me guess. You got turned around on your first day, didn't you?
I guess I did, bud. Me and all 3 of my friends.
It says, "I got turned around my freshman year too, but 5 years is a long time to learn your way around." So, and he says, "All right, so to get to 375C, that's the dean's office, you're going to want to go all the way over to that short building in the back, actually leave campus, turn left, come back, and then across the road, that short and long building, that's the administrative office." Now, if he's not there, then he's probably in the cafe or somewhere getting something to eat. He's on the other side of campus, and honestly, you won't know until you get there.
Fire shoots out of my mouth.
Why? I hate nerds.
He says,
I am very confused. I thought we were just in the administrative building.
He's new.
He says, "Well, you'll become a nerd too when you realize how fun it is to mess with the quantum bindings of the very universe to make things appear in front of you. That's my major." And he says, "Speaking of which, I'm late to equivocation 101.
Dean is here in front of us.
I don't have fun with that, and I turn invisible.
He says, "Okay, all right. That's cool. I can do that too."
Pop back, obviously, because it's only a 6-second thing. I go, "Okay, have a good day there, bud." And I'm going to follow those directions because Traven can't get lost. It's a physical ability of his.
The invisible space where he was once standing says, "Okay, have fun." And you see, off the floor, dust getting kicked off where he steps.
Excellent.
You get there and it's stout brick building, completely different aesthetic from the rest of the college. Red bricks, thatched roof, and you walk in, and someone's sitting there. This woman, glasses all the way down, reading this big old book that probably is above her reading level. Sits there and
Those assumptions.
And she looks up at you and she says, "Oh, hi there. Who are you here to see? The dean, the provost, the president of students,
The dean. We're here to see the dean.
Ah, yes, D.
I thought we were here to see the choir director. I'm confused.
He says, "Well, the choir director actually doesn't the music. That's a different college altogether. It's a different campus. We send our musically inclined people to another campus."
The dean.
The
We're here
dean.
to see
Let's go to the dean here, bud.
Dean time.
375C. It's right on the left, up 3 flights of stairs, across the room, across the floor, down a flight of stairs, and left.
I jump through.
Got all that training? We're following you.
I got it. I cannot get lost except by magical means.
I jump through the fucking ceiling.
Where's Dean?
Bring him to me.
So you
These nerds are boring me with their directions.
You get there eventually, and it says Dean on the door. Whereas you see the other.
I swear to God, Eric. Finish the fucking sentence, Dungeon Master.
Do it, Dungeon Master, do it.
Finish the sentence.
You see the other rooms have the words professor or doctor and then a last name. This one just says Dean on it, and it says 375C, and the door is currently closed.
I'm opening
Not with
I'm opening that door, baby.
You open, and you don't see anyone at first. And you hear some rustling behind the desk, and you see a very disheveled man whose like suit jacket is all messed up, and he's got like bedhead, and he goes, "Oh, hi, how's it going?"
Are you Dean?
He says, "Yes, I'm Dean of Students."
You're kidding me.
Oh my god.
I'm
I knew
sorry,
that joke was coming, and I
sir.
still fucking hate it.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Please say your name again there, bud.
He says, "I'm Dean of Students."
How many times did you just say the word Dean in that sentence?
Frederick steps out of the room and goes down the hall for a sec.
I think 3.
Did Dredger just go into a rage in the corner?
He stepped down a couple rooms down and screamed.
Did you go into a rage in the corner over there for a
I
second?
like dust off my suit jacket. I adjust my bowler cap. So Dean. I can't do it.
Bryony is desperately trying to hold it together.
Do it.
Travis just stopped even trying. He's just laughing in this room. He's like,
He says, "Well, I don't see what the problem is."
Can I just call you Dean?
He says, "Yeah, just call me Dean."
"Hey, Dean,
Okay, Dean.
what do you know about interplanar travel?"
What? Just fucking out of the blue?
I can't hold it in, man. It's time. Let's just go.
He says, "That's well, first of all, that's illegal. Secondly,
Don't bore me with the rules. Tell me what you know.
he says, well, I personally don't do anything. You see, I'm not even a magic user. See, watch." Nothing happens. And he says, "I just got the job because they were looking for somebody else who was a magic user, and I submitted the resume as a joke. I don't really even know what it means to be a dean of students."
You and any other dean of students in the world there, bud.
He says, "Well, anyway, the person you'd probably like to ask about that is the arcane law professor, Riffer Padneck, or the arcane histories professor, Jadbenar Webman."
That's
He says they're in rooms
where
5,
would we
8,
find
7,
that
8.
Bernard, Dean?
That is JADBINAR.
And what was the other guy's name at all?
Rifer Padnek.
Right.
RIPHER PADNACK.
Bro, just look up a Welsh name and be done with it. Christ.
Jesus. You're going to name the next place Shire. Motherfucker.
Anyway,
I look at Dean and I go, since we're very obviously newer students, would you be so kind as to guide us directly to one of these departments?
he says, well, the arcane law professor is probably going to be in the Hall of Books.
No. I don't want directions. I want to give you this gold piece, and I want you to take us there.
Well, you see, I can't do that. I actually don't know exactly which building it is. I have to get directions from the students. And I have a meeting in about, 2 minutes. So,
I want to go on a side quest.
I would like to not progress the plot anymore, please.
He says, go to the building that has the weird circle with the triangles in it, and one or both of them should be there. He says, now if you'll excuse me, I need to go to a meeting and eat a bagel.
Oh my
You
god.
say eat a bed.
Bagel.
Okay.
It's a piece of bread with a hole in it.
I understand what a bagel is.
Hey, Raven, is that kind of like your donut?
Is that what that's like?
I'm having an aneurysm.
I fucking knew shit was gonna happen.
Ooh. I
Oh.
will go search out these two
Is there a
professors.
student nearby?
Dean of students.
Are you still in the offices?
No, we've left the building.
Goodbye, Dean.
Goodbye, Dean of students.
Oh, and the bitch at the front says hello.
Oh, hello. She owes me the $5 that I loaned her for that coffee the other day. And anyway,
Find me
Oh,
a
we
student.
gone. We're gone, man.
Find
The
me a
Dean
student.
banter is
and he
Bring me a student. Any student.
you start walking back towards the main campus, and you find a student that looks a little disheveled.
I grab him by his robe.
What the fuck?
I pick him up and I go, okay, nerd, where do I go?
Well, there's a lot of places you can go if you're looking to visit the college. I would
No, stop.
I
You don't talk.
put him in a hammerlock. I give him a noogie.
You don't talk. You tell me
Professor Nerd.
where the law professor is. Arcane law.
He says, well, if I had to guess, it would probably be in the Hall of Book Studies, the one with the weird circle triangle thing.
I like.
What part of you don't talk do
Yes,
you
it's
not
that one.
understand?
There.
I put
Lead
my
me
over his
there.
shoulder at Traven, and then I kind of nod my head down like I'm gonna tabletop him.
I totally roll with it. Let's go.
Okay, and then I was like, yeah, thanks, nerd. And I kind of drop his arm. I push him away a little bit, and I get down on all fours.
And I push him over for the trip.
Okay,
Boom, baby.
roll it.
Roll it.
Roll a shove attack.
Do I have advantage since I'm being helped by Dredger?
No, I
Come
would
on,
say
it'll be funny.
he's
Come
not
on.
helping because he's not helping you push. He's just
Helping him fall over.
He's helping him fall.
fine.
Yeah! Help action!
That is a 16.
Fucking hits his head. Blood. Behind him.
Fuck. Shit.
Oh!
Little cousin, fix that. Fix that, cousin. Fix that. Fix that. Fix that.
Dude, he's gonna tell Dean of students.
Oh no! What is Dean of students going to do? The
heal
non-magical
the poor
piece of garbage.
Information, I can't do that. My parents
I
can't
heal
afford
the
it.
poor guy, and I quickly pull him to his feet and usher him away.
Says, fuck you guys, just wait until I'm a senior.
Yeah, later, nerd. Holy shit, I can't believe we killed him.
I bet you have 4 hit points, nerd.
Wait, I have a question. Was he actually dead?
No. He was just bleeding.
Because I can fix that. It's just a different spell.
Oh, he was just bleeding from his head.
Okay.
We're going to the building that he pointed at.
You get there and you
After
look
aggressively
around.
brutalizing the nerd.
You look around and you see nobody. You hear some muttering from some what you assume are classrooms, but no one is like walking the halls right now.
I stand outside the bathroom and wait for someone to inevitably come.
We already got directions, Traven. Can't you just take us there?
Yeah, I can.
I just want to bully more nerds.
I just want to be mean to more nerds.
Sitting by the bathroom, you see a directory, and it says, Professor Reifer Padnack, Professor of Arcane Law, room 5856Z.
Does it spell Z or does it have the letter?
Guy.
DED, I'm not joking. And it says, Dr. Jad Benar Webman, Professor of Arcane Histories, room 6656C.
Is there a map?
No.
I'm going by the old bathroom plan.
Apps in here.
I want a student to come and I want to bully them into
The
taking me where I'm
Or we
going.
can figure it out.
You see two guys walk out of the one room with their rucksacks, as we call them, on.
Oh my.
And they're walking, and one of them pulls some sort of thing that you don't recognize. It looks like a glass bottle with like almost a straw or something out of it, and he what looks like takes a sip out of it, and then smoke comes out of his mouth, and he
Not that one.
his friend is this little scrawny dude with glasses. Yeah, he does what Dredger just did. And then his friend is a little scrawny dude with glasses with the book bag on both shoulders, taped glasses.
Barney locks eyes with the nerd and whispers,
He says, "What do you mean run?"
Hey, bud. I say, leaning out, like, over.
He says,
Can you help me?
too late now.
I guess it depends on what you're asking for. And the guy says, "Come on, Jimmy, we gotta go."
Dredger, take the opposite corner.
Traven, we got to let the boys go to their classes.
We're not going to class. We're gonna go get high. Just leave me be. We're getting out of class.
Oh,
I
hey.
will return in a very short while.
I got something for you. I pull out some of the bag of weed that I have, and I just hand them some of this magic weed for
you don't
free.
have any concept of money.
Not at all. Nope.
He looks
Remember,
at it,
you forget that I gave a platinum for a night's stay.
Bro, you're selling an ounce for like $15.
I'm giving this man an ounce for nothing.
He looks at it and he goes, "Thanks, but I have my own. What do you need help with?"
You take me to the arcane law and arcane history professors.
He says, "Well, I can't take you there. Like I said, busy. I'm not riding nearly high enough to be in that class right now." He says, "But the arcane histories professor is 5 floors up on the right. Third room on the right. If you take the right staircase, 15th room on the left if you take the left staircase. And the arcane law professor, he's in the basement in the law archives. And you'll probably have to knock a couple times because most of the time he's asleep."
Okay, I'm gonna go for arcane law, straight down to the basement. I cannot get lost.
You get there pretty quickly.
No, I physically can't. Right
I know.
now. It's fun.
I know, you get there pretty quickly. And you look and it says, "Reifer Padnack, Professor of Arcane Law. Knock at your lecture time."
Dredger, I feel like knocking could be counterproductive today.
Just beat the door open.
That's what I was planning on. Boom.
I don't know. I don't wish to interrupt the hallowed halls of academia.
Why don't we check if the door is unlocked?
Knock politely first.
I say we
Once.
just peek in.
And look inside the window if there's a window or something.
You hear some rustling. And you hear a, what time is it? What time is it? And he looks and he says, I don't have a lecture for another 3 hours. What the hell is happening?
Knock again.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
You're at the door.
You hear a drawer open, something gets shoved in, and you hear a door close, and he opens the door and he says, what do you want?
What do you got on interplanar travel here, bud?
He says, very funny. Prank the short guy.
I break the door.
Whoa! All right.
For strength. Find the DC on this one. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
It's a... Wait, what do you want? Strength or athletics? It's an 18 strength, a 20 athletics.
Strength. The door folds in on itself. And he goes, hey, what the hell? That's like a $200 replacement.
What's $1?
Says, I'm sorry, that's where I'm from. It's called a gold piece here. And he says, what?
I go, whatever, nerd, and I drop 100 gold right there.
He says, you now get a good look at him. He's a halfling man wearing a 3-piece suit, kind of like what Dredger wears, but with a vest, no tie, and then a chain that goes into his one pocket, and it's all kerfluffled up as if he were just passed the hell out.
Okay, no, bud. I know that you think I'm pranking you, but honestly, I'm asking a real question today. I got something I need you to look at.
I can do that.
Everybody come on in.
I trundle in.
If it's anything in a bag, it wasn't me.
No, we got that stuff elsewhere.
No, we did that
An
earlier.
investigation check to see if I smell anything.
Yeah, sure.
Same. That is a
17.
16.
Smells super sweet in here.
Frick yeah.
Smells really sweet and a little bit like lavender.
Maybe he's also just vaping.
He says, all right, what do you want?
I shut what's left of the door,
Which is less than a quarter of the door, but okay.
and I go, cousin, do the thing.
What?
Box.
Get the thing out.
In the back.
Oh!
What's in the back?
Briny.
What's in the... Are you a cop?
Briny, though dazed and confused for a moment because there's a lot going on, shrugs off her pack, pulls out the box, and hands it to Dredger because she's not in charge.
I take the box and I say, and I hand it back to her. You can do it. I don't have to do everything. I just like doing stuff.
I
You
quickly
got it,
set it
cousin.
on the... Is there a desk?
Yeah, there's a desk. It's mostly
I quickly
papers.
set it on the desk and then back up again because I don't like this fucking box. It's gotten me into trouble.
He says, you came here to my office during my designated nap time. It's on the schedule on the door. He says,
What door?
Oh, shit.
and he says, to show me a box.
Briny opens the box with attitude now and sets the cube on the table.
He says, oh, nesting boxes. That's pretty cool. Does that one open too?
Oh, Jesus.
Don't touch the box.
It opens somewhere you don't want to be, friend.
Don't touch the cube. Don't touch the cube.
He says, okay.
You look at it here, bud. I say, and I pick it up very carefully, not touching side, and set it down very gently.
He looks at it and he says, well, it's definitely a cube. It has 6 sides. I don't know what these markings are on the sides, but if... And he goes over and he looks on his shelf. He pulls out one of those rolling ladders and he goes up and it says, he pulls out this big book and it says, Magical Code of the Middle Haven, 185.338-192.443. And he opens it and he flips somewhere and he says, is it related to something about flying?
Not at all.
Or wait. No, sorry. That's addendum C. The addendum D. Is it about interplanar travel?
What did I just say there, bud?
He says, I wasn't listening. I was worried about my door. And
Okay,
he
that's
looks.
fair.
He says, well, that's a crime. Where did you get it?
Karath Naris.
He says, cool. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Kareth Naris.
I pull out the glaive that belongs to Karath Naris, and I go, and this too.
He says, and that's a hole in my floor. He says, well, you couldn't have gotten it from him. He's been gone for about 30 years now.
He was in Bahamut yesterday, bud. And by yesterday, I mean like a week ago.
He says, well, I'm going to tell what I tell all my students that come to me complaining about visions or hallucinations. You should probably lay off the special stuff for a little bit. Maybe get a detox, drink some more water instead of mead.
I'm made of water, and I had a premonition.
Yeah,
Please
boss,
stop
he
being
killed my
cryptic
family. That
and
wasn't
tell
really
us what
He
means.
kills everybody I know and burned my village to the ground. And you are going to tell me how to fix it, or I am going to take you out right now, bud.
I mean, he didn't really do it yet, but he's going to.
He's
It's
gonna.
very disturbing.
He says, okay, I can tell you that it was made illegal by the interplanar travel ban about 30 years ago. The year would have been probably, what year is it? It's that, so it would have been like 1720. So, I mean,
Why
the
did
artifact
it play?
theoretically shouldn't exist, because if it's from him, you say that he would have broken his own law, but that's pretty weird. Says, who would be better to ask about this? Actually, let me do something. And he pulls out a piece of wire and he mutters some words and does some hand signals, and he says, hey, can you come down to my office? I have some people asking about something that looks like it's in your purview. You can reply to this message. And he says, I'll be down shortly. And there's another gnome man with glasses and clothes that look like they're a little bit too big, and he says, what do you want? What is it? And he looks at the cube and he says, what the hell is that thing?
Anybody else want to say it this time?
No. We should just have him press a button.
I don't think that's a good idea.
agree with the cow man.
Thank you. I don't enjoy being called that, but thank you.
I only call things as I see them. I see you are blue and furry and tall and have a bit of a snout to you. I apologize if I offended.
Not to mention the ears.
The ears,
Hey.
they flop a little bit.
Hey, are we dealing with this guy, or are we talking about my ears?
Well, right now I'm
You
talking
know
about
what? I don't know. I think we can talk about your ears for a quite lengthy bit of time, but
Okay,
right
you
now-
push that button right there.
Oh, what, the one with the N? No, that goes to hell, and I don't want to meet the guy who owns this axe. So
You press the one with the M and the M on it. That one's gonna be fun.
He says,
The MC button. I
Says-
like that button.
I mean, I can try. I mean, and then he reaches towards it and he pushes a button.
Oh shit.
Which one does he push? Ah, yes. He and this gray green energy portal opens and sucks him in.
Shove my hand in that portal and I try to grab him.
Yeah, go ahead. You pull him out and he says, everyone was fighting.
I like.
Oh, that one sounds familiar.
By his little like gnome scruff, and I'm like,
We're good at that, dude.
so that cube goes to other places. You push a button, you go to a place. Do you want to be on this place? This one.
He says, for right now, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Do not press any more buttons. And
Cool.
I set him down gently, and
You got real lucky with the button pushing there,
I
bud.
kind of like try and coddle him as like a little brother. I'm like, yes.
He says, oh, so what you have there is known as a cubic gate. There's only been about 3 or 4 in existence. But we were pretty sure all of them were taken by the gods to their home planes.
wait a minute. You said gods.
Home planets?
Yeah.
Like,
Planes.
like the betrayer gods.
Yeah. The ones who aren't here anymore?
I have thinking to do.
You mean like the ones that are being held back by that weird wall presence that I felt wearing thin by that creepy ass water?
He says, unless you have reason to believe otherwise, I mean, my records show that they were banished about 200 years ago. Have you encountered anything that would be contrary to that?
Briny gestures at the box.
How about this? I pull out a bottle, my water skin.
He says, that is a container to hold water that was
Drink it,
definitely-
I say, and throw it at him.
He drinks it. He says, it's water. It tastes normal. It's just river water.
You see, when I got water from that river, my mouth was very dry for some reason. Now, I know I don't drink too much water nowadays, and I understand it's very bad for my health, but it was something of like I ate a desert, and that's what my mouth was like. And so I took a drink of that water, and it was life-changing. It was very good. Almost invigorating. Not as if it wasn't a regular glass of tap water. It was something different.
He says, describe the river to me.
The most beautiful place I have ever seen, and I live where I used to live.
Is it in a wooded area? Is there a waterfall?
Yes,
River that for some reason has no fish in it.
yeah. Timber was real upset about that, and Timber goes,
He says, so that's what we call in the business of history, we call that a planar oasis.
I hate it here.
A what?
It hasn't been seen for 200 years.
Like that lucky.
He says, we don't have any reason to believe that they just pop up. I mean, that must mean that the waterfall in the woods were there.
you want to
But
go find it or something?
changing it? He says, oh, absolutely not.
Why not? It was the best place I've ever been.
He says, he looks over and he says, Rifer, what's the date? And he says, oh, it's the 26th of past harvest. And he says, and Jad Benar says, interesting. That's not good. that means that it could change at any moment because, you know, the later in the year, the more unstable everything gets. It's a whole thing. Most people don't believe in it. It's kind of like horoscope.
I missed something. When did Jabbinar get here?
I'm like, are there more names that we had to come up with?
That's the guy that
Javinar came down with the call, with the page thing.
He's the gnome guy.
Oh, he was
He got
the little
called.
dude?
Yeah.
Well, they're both
I'm
little.
sorry,
One's a halfling
I
and one's a
misunderstood
gnome.
that.
They're all
I was
short.
thinking that was
Short
like a
line.
page or like a student worker or something. I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, we're back. We're back. And he says, you know, it's kind of like when someone asks you, like, what month were you born in? Because that determines your personality. And they're like, and if you're not, like, born in August, you're, like, trash or whatever. I don't even understand it, really. It's kind of like that, but with planes and shit.
Can I go off topic? It has nothing to do with the game at the moment, but talking about all this reminded me of a Facebook post where it's like, describe your like sign but badly, and somebody was like, I'm a Capri Sun. I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, I'm Aquaman.
And
I'm mad all the fucking time.
for Virgo, I was like, I'm a vest.
So
All right.
anyway,
I'm a library.
as he starts talking about his fantasy horoscope, I start shaking because he's talking about his fantasy horoscope.
Look, here's the deal, bud. I don't give a crap about that. I want to know what the heck is going on with this, how to mess with this, and how to kill this guy. Okay? That's all I really need.
He says, well, I mean, it's not super hard to figure out. You push a button, you go a place.
Okay.
I'd
What do I do with it?
What do you do with it? You go places. That's
What's the point?
What's the point? To go places. What?
I want to... never mind. I'm going to hold that back.
I look at the arcane history professor as I try to not explode, and something comes to me like, oh, you. I have a question for you personally, not to do with any of this cube business.
Gotcha. Shoot.
I was told to come here by a decorated alumnus of this fine institution, Mr. Joshua Palmer.
He says, Joshua Palmer? Oh my god. I have not heard that name in years.
Aye, the very
The best guy,
very
eh?
same.
You know, we tried to hire him into the in right off the gate, but something about his family emergency with some kind of alcohol. I hope whoever he was helping got the help they needed.
You know, I believe he did, but you know something? For an illusion mage, he does quite a bit of evocation magic. It's almost like he chose the wrong major.
He's like, well, you know, everyone's required to take at least 2 classes in every school, except for the bard schools. Those, then they barely even get the funding they need to stay open. But
No, they don't even give them counter charm until level 6, and even by then it gets blown out of the water by a paladin passive ability. Oh my goodness. Now, you know, if they gave them more gold pieces a month, I'm sure they could get a better skill at level 20.
he says, you know, when I was going to be dean of academics, now I would never replace dean of students. I love that. He says, I love him very
I hate
dearly.
you so much sometimes.
He says, I love him very dearly, but dean of academics, on the other hand, he can be a bit of a handful with allocation of funds. Actually, we're going into a vote of no confidence on Need, the dean of
Like, need as in Dean spelled backwards?
Need.
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 Nay,
So nice to say it twice.
anyway.
You've got off topic. I did not want to ask you about a favorite alumnus. What I wanted to ask you about was a black dragonborn who used to frequent this school. And do you know anyone who kind of fits that description? Somebody who would possibly be studying the forbidden magics.
Said Black Dragonborn, huh? Well, I don't know of many Dragonborn. You know, they all mostly have gone, I don't want to say extinct because I know there's still some, but they've been wiped out over the years due to various things. That I only know of about 3 that are still on this planet. He said, let me think for a second. Let me think. He says there's Iramax, but he's a white dragonborn. He's a good guy.
That's racist.
What are they got?
And he very begrudgingly goes, I'll be right back. And he goes to his fucking office.
Aren't we in his fucking office?
Is there a
And
difference between his office and his fucking office?
no, you're not in the history professor's office.
Ooh!
You're in the law professor's office.
The history professor's office has a separate
Oh,
section between the office and the fucking office?
He says,
Fun.
Black Dragonborn, huh? Name starts with a G. He poofs away and then back, and he says, "Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it. Gregnoth?
How
I
in
think
the
is his name."
Do any of us like?
Dredger gets 1,000-yard stare.
Oh boy.
And he says, he hasn't been here in a while, but I do remember I failed him out of my... He says, no, wait, I didn't fail him. I was his advisor, and he failed... What was it? And he looks over at Rifer, and he says, didn't he fail your magical ethics class?
fuck?
And he said, and Rifer says, yeah, I think actually he did. He kept saying how you could theoretically enter fighting tournaments, and then
I am like
spell to...
grunting at this point, like how a bull breathes before it charges. That times like 5.
They look over at you and go, "Are you okay?"
He gets like this sometimes.
I grab the
It's okay.
cube.
Oh shit.
Okay. Are you okay? How do you grab the cube?
I make sure not to touch a button. I'm just looking around at all the runes on it. I'm like, he's got to be in one of these fucking places.
They say, "What do you mean?" He has to be in one. How do you know Gregnoth?
Well, he puked on me.
Yes. He frequented Josh's bar, and believe it or not, when I met these 3, there was a man fitting his description. He seemed a little too drunk. He spoke a language I did not understand, so I went to go check on him. He then proceeded to vomit on me twice. He then cast a spell that made me not be able to make noise, and then he disappeared out of existence. He also stole my championship, so I'm gonna go find him and end him.
They say, "What do you mean he disappeared? He didn't know that spell from us. We don't even teach spells that make you disappear."
That's why we're asking about planar magics.
Quick question. By disappear, do you mean like this and I turn invisible?
He says,
Because
well,
I turn back, I go, because I just saw a kid do that 3 seconds ago in a dorm.
"Did you happen to get his name?"
Not at all. He was a huge nerd. Was not worth my time.
Interesting. Well, as you know, well, actually, you guys didn't know. You're not students here. You're just barging around asking questions. That is a violation of our rules to cast magics inside residential areas. So, that will be looked into eventually. But anyway.
Oh, I'm sure that'll take forever, and then you won't even care about it. So let's just move on from there.
I mean, it's not like that, because when he does that, he's still there. You just can't see him. But Gregnoth, he just wasn't there anymore.
He says, what did he say before he went away? Could you hear the incantation at all?
He put a finger over his lips. I didn't hear what he said.
He says, well, that's the semantic component for the silence spell that you said he cast. Did you hear what he said before he disappeared? Because it's a one-word trigger.
What? How do you know that?
How do I know that? Because I'm the professor.
What would it be?
It would have been something in his native language, or if he really wanted to, he could speak the hybrid spellcasting language that we use here. It would have been like Bish.
That sounds a bit familiar.
So that's exactly what he said.
Interesting. He says, then he plane shifted, which is illegal and crime.
Well, yes, he didn't seem like the most upstanding fellow when he vomited on me and stole
And me,
my
but
championship.
He says, well, he was kind of an asshole. And he looks and he says, I don't know what plane he could have gone to. You can go anywhere with that spell. The only reason I know about it is because I have to know what it is so I know when to counter it and then authorities. Also, arcane history, it wasn't illegal until like 30 years ago.
Fair.
all right then.
Well, I have a name now.
He says, well, if you want to know where you could go to look more into that cubic gate, you could go, since we know that most of these were divine machinations, you could go to the old ruins in the far north, but you'd have to secure a boat first.
And where would we do that?
He says, well, you could go over to the mayhaps the city of Zose, get on a boat traveling north, or you could crew yourselves out to a naval vessel and see if they port there or come close enough to drop you off.
Well, party, friends, my knuckles. Perhaps we would be able to secure asylum with a naval vessel, considering we are on a mission from the Imperial General.
Sounds good to me. How about you, Timber?
Water is where I am at my best.
Let's do it.
He says, well, if you need anything, come back here. If you have any questions, find anything interesting in there that's not immediately pertinent to your mission, bring it back and donate it. Because, academic development and all that.
I expect royalties.
It's been a while since you housed
now,
me.
He says you can get written up in the research paper as excavators if you like. I'm looking for a reason to take a sabbatical. So, bring anything.
We'll be in contact with many publishing companies.
He says, well, sometimes. They technically want the paper to be written before you contact them, but, get the message out there before you do it.
Nerd.
Let's get out of here.
He says, yes. By the way, what's your name, tall one?
Which one?
Traven.
Tattooed one.
I might have tattoos. You don't know.
I ruffle around in my sack. I pull out a signed 8x10 and I just stare at it for a bit. Single tear rolls down my cheek. I turn around and I hand it to him.
I am Dredgernackle.
He says, aren't you, you're Jules' kid, right?
I am.
He says, haven't heard from them in a while. Heard from them, a couple weeks ago, but you know them. They normally go on those big foot trips. You should check in on your folks.
Yes, I should. I definitely should. How do you know Jewel, my mother?
He says, well, we used to, well, for one, we dated a little bit before her and her eventual husband got together. Secondly, let's just say I used to be part of their adventuring party before they broke it off on their own.
That sounded like a euphemism.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to mention you when I see her.
He says, please do.
And above the table question.
Yeah.
So on your little map, I don't think we're very close to where the tree would be, would it?
Yeah, you're about 4 days away.
Yeah, that's a bit.
That's not very close, Eric.
Not very close.
That's not close at all.
Perhaps in another.
Pretty close.
Perhaps in another arc.
Yeah, you're pretty close. Just 4 days away.
I mean, 4
That's
days.
like across the U.S. country, but okay.
4 days at the slowest. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of forest around there. It might take you a bit to find it unless Dredger's like super.
How far
I did not hear any of that.
is it the same direction that we would travel by boat? I'm assuming not.
The to get a boat, if you're going to Zose to get a boat, it's the other direction. But if you're heading back to Bahamut, the road actually takes you a little closer. You'd still have about a day or two of travel in the wood before you made it there. But yeah.
Perhaps on the way back then.
He says, of course.
Well,
If they ask about you, I'll tell them I saw you.
yes, please do. Please do. Well, the sea calls.
Now we go. I
As
say,
Hell
I pick
yeah!
up.
Says Brian.
Hell
to
yeah,
go to
brother!
water.
It's water time.
I smack the glaive back onto my backpack and put the cube very carefully back in the very heavy case. Shut it and hand it back to Bryony.
okay.
Bryony takes off her pack again and puts it gently in the pack and is like visibly shaking with excitement because she wants to get on this fucking boat.
It's pretty late in the day now. You did get kind of the runaround from the administrative staff. It took you probably about 6-7 hours to finally figure out where these two were. So it is about dusk now.
I don't want to drink with nerds again.
What?
So
I don't want to go back to the bar.
Oh, okay.
Are we gonna go camp then?
Yeah, let's go camp.
Let's go camp.
Not gonna lie, John, when you said you don't want to drink with nerds, I was
I'm
thinking
down.
slushies from Sonic. And I was like, what?
I didn't get that reference, but okay.
But anyway,
I did. It's not a reference in real life.
I didn't hear what you said at all.
The slushies from Sonic, like
Oh, okay. See,
have-
you cut out on the word slushy for me, so all I heard was Sonic, and I was like,
oh.
what drinks are there in Sonic?
super fast use. Anyway, so as you walk out and around, thoroughly exhausted from having to deal with the administrative half of academia. For most of you, it had been your first time dealing with academia. Aragorn, this is absolutely just a day in your life as a professor at your university. You walk by and you see the copper flagon is very subdued for the night. Weirdly enough. You reckon it's because, well, it's a weekday. It's not, it's not the weekend yet.
Get ready for those 8 a.m.s.
Yeah, you gotta get ready for those 8 a.m.s, even though you're like 90% sure that the students you saw in there at lunchtime were sufficiently buzzed and lived their life that way. And do you continue out of the city, or you gonna change your mind?
Perhaps Ragnar would like to buy us a few rooms for the night.
I don't know. I did take that guy's bird. I feel kind of bad taking his money too.
He said he had an open tab. He told us he had an open tab. 4 strangers who stole his food and weapons.
Okay.
How close can we get to meta? Is what treacherous saying.
So you walk in, and small gnome guy, he says, "Ah, you're back. Okay." He says, "Now that we have a little more time to talk, how can I help you? Can I interest you in a room, considering it's getting dark and cold?"
Yes.
Okay, would you like some food to go with that?
Friends?
You got a spot for my bear?
He says, "Honestly, the rooms are big enough for probably 3 people if you really wanted to try it, so your bear should fit."
I would like to know just how much food you could possibly give me right now.
How much? He says, "Well, how much are you willing to pay?"
Well, I don't know. It seems there's an open tab here under a man named Ragnar.
And he looks visibly shocked, and he says, "Ragnar, you say? Question.
Aye,
How old are you?
27.
Is there anyone older than 30 here?"
I am 200 years old, bud.
"Yeah, but you don't look like you're from our continent. You look like you're a little bit more out of town than that."
Okay.
Not the continent per se.
I was about to say, I'm definitely from this continent here, bud, but okay.
Says this northern area seems our side of the continent.
Aragorn's from here.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Old.
Old. And then he says, "Well, needless to say, there's absolutely no way you could have. Are any of you related to him? It doesn't look like it."
Ragnar alive?
He says, "Well, we don't think so. He went out one day to go hunt and he never came back. Body was never found, no trace of him, no bow or arrow or anything."
He was like a shorter man.
Yeah,
Blue fletchings and orange fletchings on his arrows.
I
yeah.
pulled one of the arrows out. Like this?
He says, "Where'd you get that?"
Pulled it out of a bird.
He says, "That's not possible. No one fletches their arrows like that. Ragnar never did that."
Believe Ragnar does.
It's not
Pretty
possible.
sure that guy does, yeah. Why not?
It's not. You want to know why? You want to know how I know? Because he never came back. He has no reason not to come back.
Hey, man, I understand. Nomadic peoples exist. I know my kind is a very nomadic people. What's wrong with just going out and not coming back?
Plenty of people go out and don't come back.
He says, "You don't understand. He owns this bar."
He does now.
Yes. After he had been gone for 5 years, we transferred the ownership to me because he thought he was dead. He's a very rich man. He owns numerous houses and he rents and leases properties for businesses and such.
Now you're using a present tense here, bud.
Well, at least he did.
Well, do we have an open bar tab or not?
I mean, yeah, sure. You can have Free drink, free room, I don't care.
How much food can you bring me and my friend here?
Well, how much can you eat?
You
Yes.
keep bringing it. We'll tell you when to stop.
Briny
He dips back into a back room and he says, all right, we're gonna cook everything.
Oh yeah, baby.
Supposedly these guys are friends of Ragnar, so get into the cellar for this one. And you sit down at a booth and out comes these whole sides of beef and pork and these very high class, high dollar looking steak and bacon and bread and just food upon food upon food.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh yeah. You're fine.
Yes.
Is there any seafood? This is the question.
Is there any seafood? I mean,
Yes.
he says, oh, seafood you want? He says, okay. And he goes, the shrimp. And out comes a bowl of shrimp.
Oh, dude, I'm
Bowl.
hungry right now. Let's go.
And he says, now, I do have a question. Your preference for alcohol.
Boom.
That's
Whiskey on the rocks. Please keep the rocks in there.
Aragorn, that's perfect.
Means actual rocks.
He says, that's exactly what I imagined. Still really weird.
that sushi.
Does anybody want, what the hell is sushi?
Never mind.
It's like when you take fish but you don't cook it, and it's okay at best.
He says, if you don't cook it, how do you get the bacteria out of it?
You just hope for the best.
You just kind of do it.
The Easterners seem to like it, and they live very long lives.
That's fucking weird.
He's right.
And
Briny starts shoving everything she sees except the shrimp into her mouth.
And he says, well, all right, everyone good with liquor, or are we doing any meads, any specialty drinks? Would you like me to mix some things together that have never been mixed before? Because I've found some good mixes of my mead.
Through a
Never
giant
been
bite
mixed
of
before,
beef.
you say.
You do whatever you
Water.
want, bud. You bring me anything and everything, and I will
I want
drink it.
something that will hurt my very spirit.
Oh, he says, that I can do. And he rolls out this cart with all these bottles and shit, and he brings out a lot of shot glasses, puts out a cup and a flagon, as you would know, and he pours all these different spirits and things. There's about 8 different spirits in these shot glasses, and he pours them all into the cup, and then he takes it back to the barrel and opens it up wide, drops some red flakes on top, and puts it in front of you, and he says, that's what I like to call the firebomb.
What do I do with this?
He says, well, you drink it. Preferably not too fast. The last guy that drank it too fast may have had a small cardiac emergency.
Is there only one for Dredger, or is there one for me?
He says, I can make more if y'all want it, or I can stick to the more traditional things.
Get me one, bud.
Briny, still through like a hunk of meat, goes, I still have healing slots left. Go for it.
Slam it.
He brings out 3 more.
Slam it.
He says, and my personal favorite, I call this one the ice cube, and
I
it's
slam it before he even
Holy shit.
finishes talking about it.
Constitution saving throw for everyone who just slammed that fucking drink.
Not.
I said water. I said
16.
I did say water as well, though.
Save. You said con save?
Yeah.
Oh, you said con save? That's a fucking 16.
So you both rolled 16s. Oh boy, that's a D8.
Bad time.
I had a 15.
You had a 15? Okay. I didn't think y'all would slam it right away, so I didn't have the dice ready for this.
Slam that shit.
Eric, you told us not to. Come on, man.
That's true.
Really this back.
Well, I'm just gonna roll 2 d4s in place of a d8. You both take 13 points of damage.
Yeah.
And
Only 3, baby. Temporary health points.
that's true. You did have temporary health points that you could have drawn from.
Ah, 1 topping? Bullshit.
And they, he looks at you and he says, "Are you good?"
Bring it on, baby.
You both are, again, sufficiently drunk. I feel like you guys have spent all of the past 3 sessions drunk off your
I
ass.
start hugging
Not the last one.
Timber. Yeah, the last one I did not get drunk. Thank you.
And he says, all right. He says, "Are you sure that neither of you two want any alcohol? Just water? That's pretty boring."
Bryony is ignoring him and just shoving handfuls of food into her mouth.
He says, "But slow down. I don't want you to choke. I'm not certified in CPR."
He clearly says fuck off through a giant mouthful of potatoes.
He says, "Okay." He says, "Well, I'm gonna drink the counterpart to that drink if you'd like to see it made." And he pours a lot of things together and puts them in, and instead of going back to a mead barrel, he pulls out this like moonshine bottle kind of thing and pours it in, and then he mutters some words, and you see it starts to steam, and he comes back and you hear it sloshing around. There's ice in it now, and he's drinking it, and he's like, "Icicle. It's very good. Not nearly as likely to cause cardiac issues."
Hook me up.
My heart is very healthy.
He says, "Okay." So he makes 2 more and puts them in front of you, and he says, "I would recommend drinking this one fast, or else you may get hypothermia."
Throw it back.
Constitution saving throws.
18.
18 and what, Dredger?
15.
15. Okay. You start to feel your core temperature drop really low, and you start shivering a little bit. And you manage to heat yourself back up through some very controlled breathing. And he says, "Aye, that's not the smartest idea I've ever seen, but you know, it's an idea."
You said to do it fast.
Just throw it back.
Like, bruh.
He says, "Well, did I say that fast would make it better? Yes. Did I say that it was guaranteed not to hurt you? Absolutely not. That is not."
That's a bit of dishonest marketing.
Bring on the next one.
He says, "Well, I've got..."
Bryony just like shoves scoop at them
I got a
both and goes,
calzone and
"Just
wings
bring
on the way, baby.
more."
Hell yeah.
I was like, wait a second here. If it just hurt you, why would you do it again?
Because I had a lot of information dumped on me today, and I am not having a fun day.
And I am drinking to forget this, I say, and I pull out the piece of burned wood from my village.
He says, "Well, I've got about 3 more drinks that I don't normally serve on the menu, if you'd like."
Is one of them actually on fire? Because I do good with that now. I'm kind of a fireman, a fire giant, if you will.
He says, "Well, I can make one that's on fire, but I'm gonna need somebody to shoot it with some fire to set it on fire."
Do. And I look at like Aragorn and Bryony.
You have the sacred flame. It is very fiery.
Bryony's laughing through a mouthful of some sort of food that she
Fucking
can't even
ribs,
identify
just, like,
because it's so much in
horking
her
down
mouth.
the bones too.
And she goes, "Fuck it, sure, I'll light it on fire."
Absolutely.
Okay, and he grabs a handful of things. You know, there's about 5 shots of something, and puts it in.
2.
Okay, and he starts making 2 of them, and he says, "Okay," and he puts it on the table a little bit away, and he steps back and he says, "Now this will either catch fire or it will explode. I'm not quite sure which."
Wait. I want out. I don't want to be in the room if it explodes. No.
He says, "Well, I can't. Just shoot the thing. If it's going to explode, it's going to take out the whole city, so it's fine."
Never mind then.
I love everything about this plan. There is nothing wrong with this idea whatsoever. Do it.
You ever just level a city?
Hermione is only half listening to this man as she's like gorging herself on this food.
Alright, so
And she just
nobody
like
stops
casually zaps it
going
over
to a
her.
rage.
What?
Nobody stops me. I'm gonna go into a rage, and I'm going to set these drinks on fire.
Okay.
Do it.
Hold on, guys.
Dude.
Wait, remember how I said I was a fireman? I can make the fire.
Make the fire, Dredger.
You're all going to have to stand at least 10 feet back from me. These things vary indiscriminate.
Scoot back.
So Bryony takes a giant plate of chicken, and she walks over to the other side of the bar and just keeps shoving it in her mouth.
And
I go into a rage, and I glow orange, and fire starts kind of sputtering out of my body in various places.
Out of his butt.
okay. They both light on fire, and he says, "Oh, it looks like it worked. I may have been
Thank God.
exaggerating on the explosion, but it could have happened, theoretically.
Throw it back.
Technically, the same ingredients to make a firebomb, so not the drink, an actual firebomb."
Excellent. Well, maybe we can call that the firebomb then.
He says the other one's called the firebomb.
Wait.
The real firebomb, I say, and I chuck it back.
While it's still on fire, you're not gonna try to blow it up?
Oh, not at all. Let's
Okay.
go. I'm gonna like waterfall it.
Okay.
Oh, God.
You
Your hair.
I got this.
roll me a d20. Just straight d20.
Are you gonna tell me which way I want this roll to go before I roll it?
Oh, you're gonna want it to be, actually no. Roll me a percentile and roll less than 50. I'm gonna bring out the Call of Cthulhu mechanic.
You son of a bitch. 41.
41. Okay. You managed to not catch any of your fur on your face on fire. However, you do take 3 heat damage from just how hot the drink is.
Please, baby.
I attempt to blow it out. I blow it out, maybe, and then I just kind of...
Okay. The fire does go out upon a very gentle blow. It's not like raging or anything. And you don't take any damage because
Excellent!
it would be halved.
My cockles.
The bartender kind of giggles at the word cockles.
Is there music in this establishment?
Not at the moment. It's very quiet.
I stand up in the middle of the room and I go, "Friends, nerds," and I say in bears, "Allow me to sing a song of my people."
Jesus. All right, you got to sing it.
Rafiki, save us all.
When I came home on a Monday night, as drunk could be, I saw a sow outside my door,
Fucking mouth.
where my old horse would be. I called me wife and I say to her, "Would you kindly tell to me Who owns the horse outside the house where my old horse should be? Ah, you're drunk, you silly old fool, and still you cannot see. That's a lovely sow that me mother sent to me. Well, there's many a day I travel 100 miles or more, but a sow with a saddle on I never saw before. And then I fall over.
I regret showing you that song so much right now, but also I'm a little happy.
Can you roll me a performance check?
Yeah.
At straight roll,
Yeah.
because you have advantage because it was funny, but you're disadvantaged because you're drunk.
You said performance?
Yep, straight roll.
19.
Everyone joins in about 3 lines in, even though they seem to not know what you're singing.
Bryony knows the song. Sorry, can't pretend.
And then you
There's 7 more
you
verses.
fall over. Do you pass out?
7 more verses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's one for every day of the week.
Nice.
You're gonna have to send me a link to this.
I'll put it in the chat.
I got it. No, John, don't do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Put it in the group chat, not the call chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Seven Drunken Nights. It's an Irish folk song.
Jesus, of course it's Irish. Anyway, not because it's a drinking song, but it's just so on brand.
It's a song about coming home to your house and finding out your wife is cheating on you, but she convinces you because you're so drunk that it's something
It's
that her
very
mom sent
on
you.
brand. Anyway, so the night goes on like this for a long time. A lot of you have, well, Draven and Dredger, if you continue drinking, you're gonna get some fucking flavors that you've never ever
I'm pretty sure I passed out.
dreamed of before.
I sang in Bear and fell over. I'm pretty sure it's over.
I'm pretty sure Traven's donezoed right now. Dredger
This is where
is
I'm sleeping for the night.
going mostly strong, but he looks like he's about to thump over like a weeble wobble.
But they don't.
They only fall down if you hit him with a golf club.
Okay.
So the night goes on. Eventually, you do go to your rooms and you sleep, except for Traven, who is passed out on a table. And believe it or not, there are no dreams this time for the first time in like 3 weeks. Those of you who are drunk dream of nothing. You know, because
John, I literally said I could do it.
You didn't send a link though. You just sent a title.
What?
anyway.
Well, that's garbage. It was a link.
And the other 2 of you, Bryony, you dream of a very peaceful time at your home island when you had a party and you got to see all your brothers and your neighbors all together again. Much more pleasant than your last dream.
Hey, Eric, I'm going to draw you a picture.
And Aragorn, you dream of finally completing what you actually left the universe. You dream of the flower of Norwood that you've been searching oh so long for. And with that, we're going to end the episode with no with no cliffhanger.
I'm about to say, not without a hangover.
Not without a hangover. Y'all are fucked next session.
Oh man, I can't wait to sleep off the drinks of fire and ice.
Like a Game of Thrones reference, but bad.
Correct. All right, so same time next week, barring incident. Same place, same time, blah, 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 all of that.